This is the plaintiff, Desta Krupa. She says she took out a line of credit for the defendant, her neighbor, so she could buy Christmas presents, and now can't get her to pay her bills. The woman refuses to give her the Xbox and iPod she's paying for every month. She's learned it doesn't pay to be nice and is suing here and now for the full $571.67 she's owed. This is the defendant, Marie. She says the plaintiff let her use her line of credit to buy an Xbox for her son, and she was making payments every month. But something happened with the credit company, and they refused to accept her payments. She told the plaintiff to call them to straighten it out. She never did, and here they are. As far as the iPod goes, that was a gift. She's accused of saying nay to a neighbor. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $500 for harassment and emotional distress.
All parties, please use your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
Desta Krupa?
Yes.
You are suing your neighbor Marie, and who is Edna to you?
My grandmother.
Okay, and Edna, for $571.67 that you say is the remaining balance owed for some electronics that you purchased on her behalf for her son for Christmas. Tell me what's going on.
Okay, in December of 2014, the defendant had come over to my house and
December
saw,
of 2014?
right,
Okay.
and saw a Geddington book, on my counter and wanted to order something for her son.
Saw what book?
She saw a Geddington book.
What's
It's a
Geddington?
catalog that you
Okay.
can order, like, any kind of electronics or anything. And she wanted to order a few things for her son for Christmas. And I said, well, I'll let you do it as long as you pay for
Oh, wait,
it.
she wanted to order it on your credit?
Right.
Why didn't you just tell her to buy it herself?
Well, at the time, she didn't have the money for her son. And I said, well, it would be payments, each month. And
This is a terrible idea.
I know, it said, as long as you pay and keep up the payments.
Yeah, as long as we have a name for people like you, though. We call them litigants. You end up in court trying to get the person. If the person is buying something she can't afford and she doesn't have her own credit to do it with, there's a reason.
Right.
Right? There's a reason.
I know.
If other people won't extend credit to her, then why are you doing it?
Right.
How's your credit, sweetheart?
I don't have that good of a credit, Your Honor.
Okay.
How
How do you get no good credit? How does that happen when your credit's no good? It's by not paying.
I know.
And so it's Christmas, right?
Right.
Oh, he's such a good boy, and you wanted him.
And
He
me
helps
being
you
a
around
nice-
the place, so you wanted him to have a good. Except for here's the thing, Mom needs to buy her son a gift Mom can afford. You see, because that's a terrible message to give the kid. You were paying payments on this for a while.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. How much in payments did you pay?
From
No. Give me a dollar figure. You want me to do the math, but I want you to do the math. How much did you pay?
$430.
You're not even sure, are you? Are you sure?
I'm pretty positive. I calculated it up, and it was I'm going to say
$430 on an item that costs what?
$537.67.
And yet the balance is 500 and something.
I was paying, like I said, consecutively, and my card was on file to take the payments out. I paid more than asked for, so I can hurry up and pay it out. And then in August,
That's barely hurrying it up.
And
You
then
were paying payments for how long?
November to August.
Right. And you're basically paying $40, $50, $60 every month.
90.
And the fees and the interest was about that much. I mean, do you not see this, folks, that it makes more sense to wait 5 months to buy it and have the money in your hand? It's called patience and saving, right? And then you can afford to buy it outright, because by the time everything's said and done, assuming you kept paying and weren't here, how much are you going to end up paying for a $500 Xbox and an iPod? You're going to be paying like $1,000-something, over double what it is that the thing costs. That math doesn't come into anybody's head. Oh, we gotta have the Xbox. Gotta have the Xbox. How old's your son?
He's 13. He wanted it, and other neighbors around the neighborhood buy him gifts as well because he is a good kid.
Buy him gifts as well. What are you saying? That this was not your gift to your son?
No, the Xbox was the gift to my son. The iPod was a gift from her, and I was paying on the Xbox until they said we won't accept the payment. So when they wouldn't accept the
Why
payment,
wouldn't they accept your money?
for some reason I have no idea, because I have consecutively had been paying, and then 1 month they wouldn't accept the payment.
All right, so say you. How are you going to prove that? How do I know you didn't just pull your card or your debit, close out your debit card and stop paying?
She should have that there. She should have the information because it's her account.
Why don't you have the information?
Because it's her account, so I couldn't do nothing. If they wouldn't accept a payment, they're not going to accept talking
Do
to
you have
me.
any record proof from them that she tried to pay and they wouldn't accept it?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I had called Geddington, and they said they would accept the money order as long as my account number was on it, and I handed her the card.
So she told you pay by money order. Why didn't you just pay by money order?
She waited 3 months before.
What difference does it make? On the third month, why didn't you pay by money order then?
She waited too long, so I felt that all the late fees and all that, she's older, more wiser, so she should have known it. She didn't want to ruin her account, so get on top of it, so there wasn't no late fees, and I can still
What's
pay
wrong with you? Why weren't you paying her
as
bills
going.
for her
Not
while
her
everything was being straightened out?
Not her paying the bills, but her talking to
Sweetheart,
them.
where there's a will, there's a way to pay, okay? If you can't pay one way, you pay another way. The fact that she didn't figure out a way around your payment problem is her problem? Because she's older and wiser. She's foolish because she extended your credit where nobody else would.
I had things to return to the store to upgrade, and she said she would take over the DSI and pay
Stop,
me
I have no idea what you're saying.
$150.
Stop, I don't know what you're saying. I had things to take to the store to upgrade. What does that mean?
He didn't want the things, no, he was willing to give up a tablet, DSI, and other electronics, a PSP. So I was bringing them to the store because you can bring them to the store and you can get money for them.
In order to apply towards the Xbox?
To give money towards the Xbox.
Okay.
She said, don't give the DSI. She brought me to the store. She said,
What's
don't
a
give.
DSI?
It's a game, and I decided I would buy it from her, so I paid the first 3 payments at Geddington for her.
In order to recompense her for the DSI?
Right.
What's it called?
A
D
DSI.
as in dog, S-I?
It's a
Yeah,
DSI. It's another electronic.
It's another electronic,
It's like
but
we're
I
going
told...
back and forth making deals, and the deals just didn't happen the way
I don't know what you're
should.
talking about. The only part of the deal that didn't happen was you finishing paying off. I don't know what you're saying. I'm looking at this. She agreed to pay your first 3 payments. She did. That's how your balance got lower. And then you made payments for a certain amount of time. And then one day, the way you chose to pay didn't work, and you didn't get on it and fix it. How old are you? When you say she's older and wiser, how old are you?
I'm 33.
Oh, okay, so you're not 10. So then there are other ways to make a payment, okay? At worst, you should be going to her house and handing her the money, okay? You should be figuring out something, and you're doing nothing to pay. And your defense is what? Because I can't hear it.
My defense was the cops told me not to do anything because it was in the court's hand and I couldn't return her the merchandise.
Your defense on why it is you weren't paying before she had to file a lawsuit against you.
I was paying,
what?
and I have the proof right here that I was paying.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So your neighbor says, hard times, and can I borrow $500 or so? And they have bad credit. Would you do it Christmas time?
Oh, I would like to, but I'm a college student, so $500 doesn't...
Suppose you were making a decent living, but still you had to work.
Okay, yes. If it's Christmas time, yes.
So are you doing it because you're going to give it to them, or you really expect to get paid back?
Oh.
See, I ask good questions sometimes. Think about it.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Probably not, just because giving money to people, friends or family complicates.
Okay, well, so they say to you, God, what a crappy guy you are during Christmas to hurt me like this way. Will you stand up to that?
Yeah, it's not my fault.
Okay.
I would say no, straight up giving them $500, but I'd be like, hey, let's go shopping. And then like we could pick out the stuff and the spending wouldn't get out of control.
Okay, 3 different views. I got an opinion about this going inside the courtroom.
When was your last payment?
In August. And
When did you file the lawsuit against you?
4 months after that.
Okay, and for all those months, September, October, November, December, 4 months later, for all those 4 months, of course, since you're supposed to pay, right? You took the money, the $50, $40, $60, and you put it in a drawer and you saved those 4 months and then handed her $200, right?
I tried handing her money at one point and it didn't get paid, so I got charged for late fees. That's why I had proof that I had to pay late fees.
You tried handing her money, and what happened when you tried?
She didn't pay the bill as she said. She came
You
to me.
handed her money, or you tried handing her
I
money?
handed her money.
You said I tried handing her money. How much money did you hand her?
2 times $40.
Did she hand you 2 times $40?
No, she didn't. She didn't hand me any money. I kept asking her. I even had the late fees.
You have a neighbor who helps you out for Christmas. What is your defense, Ebenezer Scrooge? What is your defense? I'm having such difficulty. If your defense is, Judge, I can't afford it.
They even removed.
Can you just say it if that's
no,
what
I
it
said
is?
I couldn't afford it. I was willing to return it, but the cops and her harassing me and
Return
doing all
what?
that, to return the property in the other court, and she thought.
Wait. What do you mean return the property? She needs the money to pay it off. What is she gonna do with an Xbox?
She told me if I returned the property that they would take it back.
Do you
'Cause
have somebody to use the Xbox?
They sell
did have
refurnished
somebody-
things.
Who wanted to buy it?
That was going to take over the payments, and
Okay.
I kept asking her.
And she wouldn't give it.
She would not give it back, and I had called the cops one day, and the cop.
Who's
told,
Edna?
She's the one that has the Xbox. The
Who's
cops,
Edna?
My
It's
grandmother.
her grandmother that has it now.
The Xbox?
Yes.
Yep,
Why doesn't the
and
kid have it?
iPad, And the iPad.
Why doesn't the kid iPod?
iPod, yeah.
Why doesn't the kid have it?
The kid has it. He's at my grandma's house.
The plot thickens.
the cops
When
let
did the
him-
kid go to grandma's house?
About 2 months ago, the cops let him come in my house and take everything out my house when they knew the property wasn't mine. And like she said, she did call the cops about this incident, and we were trying to handle it.
How long had your son been out
Out of where?
of your home when he came back with the cops?
He's just been out the last 8 weeks.
Who arranged for him to come back with cops? He's 13. Your grandmother?
No, the cops handed him.
Did the courts take your child away from you?
The cops gave my daughter the house keys to my house, and my daughter and my son went in the house and took the Xbox and any
How did the
other
cops have your
electronics.
house keys?
Because I was arrested.
What were you arrested for?
I think all that is irrelevant. It has
Well,
nothing to
I'll
do
be
with
the judge of
case.
that, won't I? What were you arrested for?
Domestic abuse,
Of
slapping my son.
the 13-year-old?
Yes.
Was the son taken away from you as part of a family proceeding?
I believe so, yes.
Have they decided the custody issue
There's a temporary custody going on.
in the hands of your grandmother?
No, not my grandma. DCF. How can I give back something that I don't even have?
You could have
to
given
give
it back before that, and you don't have to give it back. What you have to do, that was one way out for you didn't take. Paying her is one way out for you have no proof of taking. Writing a check is one way out you didn't do. Money order is another way out you didn't do. And then now the kid has it. Yeah, now you can't give it back. So I guess you should have taken advantage of that when you could have. You have a counterclaim against her for $250 for harassment and $250 for emotional distress. Tell me about that.
As my son would come out of school, she would harass him. Every time I leave my house or get out of my car, she would come harass me. She came to my house demanding.
What does harassing mean to you? Demanding payment?
Just yelling. No, nothing have to do with payments. Just yelling about how bad of a person I am, chasing me to my friend's house, arguing in my neighbor's house, calling my landlord, bringing the whole neighborhood involved into this, kicking my car, throwing stuff at my car.
Back it up. She kicked your car?
Yes, she did, Your Honor.
Did you call the police?
No, I didn't. I'm not going to sit there and go back and forth and call the police because I knew she was already taking me to court. So why make the situation? They're just going to waste their time.
Why
coming
should
out.
you get $500 for harassment and distress?
I had to see my psychiatrist more because of her harassing me. I don't.
Can I ask you a question? Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you had $600, you would have paid this off to stop the bleeding, right?
Right.
You
But
don't
I-
have $600.
No, 'cause
If
I'm
you
on
don't have
disability.
$600, maybe you shouldn't be loaning.
I know I made a mistake. I know I fool.
Based on what I have heard, I am ruling in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $571.67. And on your counterclaim against her for harassment and emotional distress, here's a surprise, 0. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Well, first out of the courtroom, the defendant is right here to tell us what she thinks of the verdict.
Judge Miliano is awesome, and she knows what's best.
So how'd you let this happen?
No comment.
You do appreciate that she was there for you when you needed something, wanted something, and she had the cash in hand to help you out. You know how this looks?
Obviously horrible.
So correct. How is it not what it looks like? You get the last word here.
I don't have nothing to say.
All right, so step on in here. It took a judge to bail you out of this situation. Why were you in it in the first place?
You know, you know what? It's just trying to be nice to people and help them out. But I think I learned my lesson the hard way. But I'm really, happy with the judge's decision.
You know what the lesson is? What's the lesson?
What's the lesson? Don't lend money.
Don't help out with credit
Try to help
anymore
people
either.
out, be nice to them, and that's what you get.
Well, don't lend
Not
money.
everybody's like that, but you try
I've always
just
had
be
a
nice
good
to
heart,
kid on
and
Christmas.
Don't lend money that you don't have.
That's true.
right. Or
Harvey?
credit card, yeah.
Okay, Kurt, look, I gotta say, I mean, what I would do is, yeah, I would do it if I really cared about these people and wanted to help them. I would have no expectation of getting paid back. And that's the way you need to do it going in. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.